2 years ago, I was standing in my kitchen and I could barely stand straight. The room was spinning. I couldn't walk. I couldn't drive. And I could barely get off the floor most days. And it wasn't the vertigo that was the problem itself. It was more of I didn't know what was happening to me, and I still had to show up for work. And I had a son that needed me to be okay. So I'm going to tell you exactly what happened to me. And if you're watching this series, I know you can find something to relate to. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kathy, a pharmacist. I've been in this career for 33 years. I am residency trained. I have my MBA. I've written articles and spoken at national conventions on medication safety. And I ran a pharmacy residency program by myself, grew it, built it, and was proud of it. 2 years ago, 3 things hit me at once. I was entering menopause. I was burned out on running a program solo for 10 years. And I was in a calorie deficit trying to lose 20 pounds, which it turns out is the exact wrong time to do that to your body when it's under that much strain. Then one day at work, the vertigo hit. I couldn't stand, couldn't walk, couldn't drive myself home. And of course, I did what most of us would do. I tried to push through it for maybe a month or 2. I didn't want to be the person that couldn't handle it. And at the same time, I was navigating a divorce that I didn't have time to grieve. And my ex-husband moved out of state. Now that's where my built-in co-parenting was gone out the window. And now all of a sudden I'm a single parent doing it all by myself. And my body was telling me that it couldn't keep going. Eventually, I had to take a 6-month leave of absence. Here's what I didn't expect. The medical leave was almost the easiest part. What consumed me was everything else underneath. Having the conversation with my manager and being honest about something this personal, and I needed that to land the right way. Working with HR and understanding what paperwork needed to happen, dealing with the third-party disability company that was handling my payments while I was out and making sure that I got paid, knowing that there was a clock running a specific amount of time before my full-time position could legally be posted as open, and carrying all of that in the back of my mind while I was supposed to be healed. I was trying to recover, and at the same time, I was doing invisible project management on my own career just to make sure I had one to come back to. But I got through it, and my managers were receptive. I knew how to advocate for myself, partly because of the career that I had already built. But I kept asking myself, what is happening to the women who don't know the questions to ask to HR, who don't feel comfortable going to their supervisor talking about this topic, and those who don't know that there is a time clock running on their actual position, and who also feel like talking about it is handing over ammunition to end their career. Women are hitting perimenopause and menopause at the most important time in their career, where they have the most experience, where they have the most seniority, and they have the most to lose. And most workplaces don't have a real plan to handle this. So it's not a health issue, it's more of a retention issue. It's costing companies their most experienced women at the worst time. So this is a resource that I wish I had, something that I had to find out the hard way. So over the next 9 episodes, I'm going to be walking you through exactly what it looks like, what taking time off actually does to your career, the disability process, talking to your manager, talking to your physician, and treating the symptoms, knowing when it's time to come back to work, and what your re-entry plan looks like. My goal is not just to tell my story, it's to guide women through this process with a map so that they don't have to do it by themselves on their own at the worst season of their life. This isn't just to tell my story, it's to be able to help the next woman go through this have a map so they don't have to go through it alone, and be able to see themselves in me, ask the questions, and learn. So let's start where I had to start. What does it actually look like to take time off, and what it does and doesn't do to your career?